Welcome to the Fantasy Scroll Magazine podcast, featuring science fiction, fantasy, horror, and paranormal short stories from speculative writers from around the world. I am your host and narrator, Rachel Aronov. For more, visit our website at fantasyscrollmag.com. This is Episode 3, The White Snake by Laurie Tom, originally published in Penumbra magazine in April of 2012, and reprinted in Fantasy Scroll magazine issue number 5 in February of 2015. The text of this story is copyright 2012 by Laurie Tom. This audio recording is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, Non-Derivatives work. You may copy and distribute this audio recording so long as you maintain the author attribution, but you may not sell it, alter it, or transcribe it. Laurie Tom is a third-generation Chinese-American living in Southern California area. She's been entranced by science fiction and fantasy since childhood and has never been able to stop visiting other worlds. Her work has also appeared in venues such as Cross Genres, Galaxy's Edge, and Penumbra. In her spare time, Laurie splits her time between books, anime, and video games, the last of which has turned into her day job. More recent hobbies include reading about World War I Germany and Tudor England, which she swears is just for research until she finds herself looking for board games based around those topics. And now, today's featured story, The White Snake by Laurie Tom. You didn't know me the second time you said hello. You couldn't have known we'd met before, because people don't believe in spirits in this modern day. Everything is decided, neatly parceled into little bits of what is considered possible and what is not. I am just a myth. But when I look at you, gazing back at me from your seat beside my hospital bed, I know what is real. We are real. What we share is real. And I'm dying. You try to comfort me, fluff my pillow, and ask if you can get me something to drink, and I can't help but feel touched by your compassion. You have always been a gentleman. That was what drew me to you the first time we met. You couldn't have known what your actions had meant to a little white snake. If you still have that gentleness in you, listen to me now, please. I know you don't want to believe, but you have to accept. I was not born in this country of yours, but of a rushing stream in a land its people call the Middle Kingdom. My kind minds the ways of our common cousins, and no man can tell the difference if he does not know us well. Most of the spirit folk remained in the old country, but being a small and curious thing, I sailed east across the ocean with the immigrants that landed here, on the land of your people. At heart, people here are not so different from people there. You grow fields of wheat instead of fields of rice. That doesn't matter. You still eat. But you do not have the history of believing in us. The people of the Middle Kingdom know us, in the form of superstition if nothing else. Your people have never heard of us at all. But I didn't mind. I was only a snake. You remember the day we met, don't you? It's only a childhood memory to you, if that at all. Some boys thought to make sport of the strange creature they found in the fields. White, but not albino. It didn't look like anything they had seen before. Of course they were curious. Of course they wanted to catch it. Even back in the old countries, boys did such things, but I did not expect to be caught. Then you came. You were only a child yourself, and you drove them back, yelled for them to leave. They scowled and pouted, but they scattered. And you turned to look at me. Hello, you said. You can go now. You could not have understood the thanks in my voice. To your ears, my gratitude was nothing but a hiss. but I basked in your compassion as readily as I would have the sun. Seldom does a spirit find itself indebted to a man, but never does one forget to repay what it owes. I watched you as you grew from boy to man, and I made good on my debt. When you stayed up nights to study, I was the one who gathered your things for you, so they'd be ready in the morning. That day you wanted lunch, but found yourself a quarter short, I placed that coin on the sidewalk where you would find it. A snake could not do very much, even one a bit brighter than the rest, but I tried. The problem was I wanted more. You see, I came to know you, your strengths and your faults, and I wanted to be able to be with you without having to hide in the cracks and shadows. I wanted to see you smile at me and know me for who I am. So I shed my scales, coated my head with hair, and grew limbs from my body in order to resemble a human being. I thought you may not have liked me, because I could only look like the people who come from my country. But you didn't care that my eyes were brown instead of blue, or that my hair was black instead of straw. You were as kind to the woman as you were to the snake. Though they seem brief now, I do not regret the 20 years spent with you. You cannot know the price my kind pays to maintain a human shape. We could never stay long, as if our lives must be further shorn beyond the longevity we have already lost. Disease has racked my body in a way that would have been impossible but 20 years ago, but I would not change my mind. My only wish is that you would understand me. We shared so much, life, love, and children, and yet you will never know the whole of me. You don't believe in spirits and think my story is a flight of fancy. You, who have been kind to me in so many ways, are the source of the only cruelty I cannot overcome. But love forgives, love forgets, and I have long accepted you for what you are. Soon now, you will have to accept me for what I am. I tried to tell you that I wasn't an ordinary girl. What will you say when I pass on, and you see not the body of a woman, but a coiled little serpent with shining marble scales? The end. Thank you for listening to The White Snake by Laurie, read by your host and narrator, Rachel Aronov. I hope you enjoyed it. For more science fiction and fantasy stories, interviews, and reviews, visit fantasyscrollmag.com.